Fabulous.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning. This is Sam Dosa with my co-host Jennifer Buman-White.
Hi, everyone. How you doing?
We are great to hear from you. This is Believe in Business, promoting passion in business. Today we have a phenomenal guest, Patrick M. Powers, who will be joining us very soon. In the meanwhile, we would like to take this opportunity to say thank you very much for all those who have been supporting us, liking our Facebook page, supporting us on Instagram. We also have a tweet feed as well. So if you like to join on that, would really appreciate that. Today, we would like to share with you the vision behind doing this segment. So our show, the vision behind this segment is that our show is designed to provide a resource of learning and inspiration for business owners who are passionate about their business and want to make a difference in the world. That's a very simple vision, me and Jan to share with everybody. And I will pass on to Jan to continue until our guest is here as well. So you can continue, Jan, if you would like to.
Fabulous, fabulous. Thanks very much, Sam. And yes, I'm really, really excited to have Patrick up with us tonight. He's a little bit delayed. Hey, Patrick, you're here.
Hey, how's it going?
Patrick is here now.
Apologize for my lateness.
No problemo.
I've had some trouble with Chrome, and then I didn't know that I had to use Chrome for this application here. So.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
You're coming in nice and clear and clean, and I'm so glad and happy to see you. We just did our introduction about our vision, and Sam talked about our vision for the show. And I'm just about to introduce Sam, my co-host, who's phenomenal. He's a highly successful business and personal coach who specializes in helping his clients to avoid burnout. And what started as a personal and permanent transformation process back in 2002, Sam quickly realized this to be his calling and made him decide to become a business and heart transformation coach and a burnout specialist and a motivational speaker and a brilliant friend and a fantastic co-host on this show. And yeah, so we're going to have a really good evening this evening with Patrick and our sponsor. So I don't know if Sam wants to talk about the sponsor. I think we've lost Sam somehow.
Yes,
Sam, are you there?
I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
Can
well,
you
if
hear me?
Sam has disappeared, I'm going to continue. So while Sam gets back on board, I'll introduce Patrick and we'll keep the show rolling. So thank you so much, Patrick, for being here with us tonight. I'm sure we're going to have a really, really informative evening. I can't wait to for this evening. So let me just quickly introduce you from your bio. So Patrick M. Powers is one of London's most connected people, one of Europe's biggest experts in copywriting, influence, persuasion, networking, and breakthrough growth strategies for small businesses and network marketers. Now, after going bankrupt with his first business, he dedicated himself to find the secret to success and share it with the world. Now, you probably realize that I'm not wearing my glasses because I'm really vain and I'm struggling here to to read this bio. But okay, so in 2003, he hit rock bottom, but with the knowledge he had acquired in the short time, he turned his life around. And he started with a direct selling company and had his first year turnover of $3 million. Now, in a first year of turnover, that's a phenomenal. I don't know anybody who's done that because I've been with network marketing for quite a few years and I've never heard of anybody else doing that. Now, he built his team to 10,000 people while he was living the 4-hour work week in the Caribbean and traveling the world. In 2009, he founded the Entrepreneurs in London with just £70, and it has become Europe's biggest business meetup group now with over 24,000 members. And I've actually been there and seen, it's just such a buzz of entrepreneurs and, you know, highly motivated people and everybody interacting with each other. So without further ado, I would like to hand back over to Sam, who is probably going to introduce our sponsor for this evening. So welcome back, Sam.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Is my voice clear, or we are still having a back feed coming in?
No, you're clear. A bit delayed on the picture, but you're clear.
Okay, thank you. So there is Mei King Tsang. She is a social media strategist. She has been in the industry for a couple of years. She has worked with so many Indian as well as major brand. Her take on is because she Google deliver workshop on Google platform and support a lot of small to medium businesses, celebrities in Brisbane in Australia. She is a big follower on Twitter, about 7,500 people. Her brand is Making Tea, where she sells in a different business. But according to her passion, social media is her forte, where she helps. So we are very privileged to have a sponsor, Tsang, who has Patrick in Brisbane. Is a tour when he did present to a lot of people, and she is highly recommended. Ability to help a lot of people in the field of level marketing. Thank you. And before I go further, use my co-host, Jennifer Buman. Her passion in life, emotional freedom, where she is a specialist and the founder of Business Love Academy. She's known as an emotional freedom specialist to work with creative, inspired men and women who are passionate about doing what they love and making a difference in the world. She supports them to clear on their business vision, to create a lifestyle that supports their business and celebrate their life purpose. She has created a unique, powerful program that combines emotional freedom technique and intuitive coaching to transform her clients from pain to positivity and their problems to possibility. She has been in business and management 3 decades and coaching in life and business for last 13 years. She's also a speaker, author, blogger, EFT mentor practitioner, intuitive life and business coach, and now Be Live TV presenter. Thank you, Jen.
Fabulous. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, Sam. And can we just really get into Patrick, because I can't wait to ask him some amazing questions.
Absolutely.
Good evening, Patrick. Good evening, Patrick.
Good evening. Great to be here. Can you hear and see me?
I can hear and see you. Can hear and see. I have to.
My Chrome is actually freezing now again, so actually at this point I can't see you, but I can hear you.
Oh, fantastic! That's what we need to hear. We can see you beautifully. We can see you beautifully. And great. Apologies for Sam as well, because he's in. Is it Nairobi you are, Sam?
No. I'm still in London, but I'm in the. So the problem is with the feed over my phone to tether from there actually.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so Patrick, wonderful to have you here. And our first question for you is, have you always had a passion for business? And if you could just talk us around that and let's have a little conversation.
No, not at all. And I don't know when I actually got it. I think I've always had quite a big curiosity and just really a big hunger for experiences and growing and learning stuff. You know, even at very, very young, I was learning very fast. I was one of the best people in school, but one of my big problems was that I had incredible bad self-image. I was enormously shy, So I was the kid, even though I was the smartest kid, or typically number two smartest kid in school. I was being bullied all the time because I was the fat smart kid. I just needed the glasses to fit the bill, to fit the complete typical description of that fat kid in school that gets bullied. So no, I happened. I think I started getting the interest for business in my mid to late teens.
Mm-hmm.
I had a couple of, especially one uncle in the family that was a relatively successful business person, not super successful, but he had many bars, he had some convenience stores, and he was relatively successful. And I kind of looked up to him. Unfortunately, we lived quite far away from each other in Denmark at that point, so I didn't see him often. But I think that's kind of where my interest came. Funny enough, my parents was also business owners when I was really small, but they were not very successful. And they, when I announced that I was going to go into business, they said, don't do it. You must have lost it. They thought I lost it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But I think my interest was it came from just being incredibly frustrated with just normal job and doing the things over and over and just doing the same boring stuff over and over and over again and not getting paid properly for it.
Mm-hmm. So what kind of business, what were you actually doing? What was the kind of thing you were doing that was boring you to tears?
Oh, anything. Anything where I was not the person that was creating and doing it and leading it and coming up with ideas. But at that point, I was a landscape gardener. That was my first education. And I still like landscaping, and I like I like creating my garden and all that kind of stuff. I like doing that, but not as a job, full time, 8 hours a day. That is just crazy.
Okay, so how did you actually get into business then? What was the first point of, okay, I'm in business now?
Yeah, well, I was 21 and I decided I'm gonna go into this field, which was holistic healing, or holistic as a holistic practitioner. And how that came about was that when I was a landscape gardener, I got a back because basically landscape gardening is mostly it's either bricklaying or digging, and it's very, very heavy work. Okay. Mm-hmm. So my first boss said that you can choose between two evils. Either you can destroy your knees because you're going to be laying on your knees all day long and laying bricks, or you can destroy your back because you're going to be bending your back. And so I got some back problems, went to some massage or some treatment for that. And I just felt that, wow, this is amazing. It's just amazing to get a massage, and started to explore that field, and just fell in love with the field of holistic healing. And, and then that also led to my interest in, how the mind works, and, led me down the path of personal development, which led me to my field today.
Fantastic. I think a lot of us have been on that journey where we find there's a problem with us, and then we sort of start researching and looking, and then we always seem to end up in the personal development arena and the self-development arena, some way, shape or form. And then from there decide, okay, well, we don't want to be part of the system anymore, and so we're going to start our own venture. So yeah, fantastic.
Absolutely.
So,
that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's quite an interesting journey you had. So going on to our next question to you is, so how did you what was the worst moment you can recall, and how did you turn it around?
Oh, that's very easy to answer that. I've had lots and lots of bad moments, but the worst one was when towards the end of my first business, when I realized, okay, this is just not working. I'm going to go bankrupt. I'm going to lose my house. Ooh. And just not knowing where to go, because my family couldn't help me. They couldn't come up with ideas. And I just felt completely lost. And in Denmark at that point, I was living in Denmark. Of course, I'm born and grew up there. And it's fairly cold in winter, as you might know. It's the same kind of climate probably as Scotland, northern Scotland. in wintertime.
Okay.
So this was November, and I was running out of oil. Most houses in Denmark are oil heated.
Okay.
So I was running out of oil, and I owed all the oil companies money, so I couldn't order anymore.
Whoa.
And I had like a what do you call it, fireplace, and a little bit of wood in my garden, but that also ran out, of course. And so what do? And the house is cold. Well, I actually chopped up my bed and used the wood. I used the wood to keep me warm for 2 nights with that wood.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
And I just cried myself to sleep. I was like,
wow.
What's going to happen to me? What's next? I had no idea. And that was a really, really bad moment. How did I turn it around? I didn't really turn it around. It was not like one of those turning moments that said, oh, okay, I just come up with a solution and suddenly everything was great. Not at all. The house went in foreclosure. I moved in with in a house sharing place with a few people, and one of the guys actually has become a good friend, Frank. We still keep in contact, and this is like 25 years ago.
Wow.
And more than that. It's actually more than 25. Oh my God, I'm becoming old.
Oh my gosh. Don't say that.
Anyway,
we're not going to get old. We don't have that in our vocabulary at all. No.
Yeah. So so just gradually, after brushing myself off, I realized that, wow, obviously I wasn't as smart as I thought I was. I need to, if I'm going to succeed in business again, I need to brush up on my skills and really learn how to run a business. Because I actually felt like this is my calling. I am going to be a successful entrepreneur, right? So it's not that I didn't, that I lost the faith in myself or anything like that. I just knew this is it. There was this amazing feeling to be in control of your own day. So I started to study marketing and sales and all these kind of things. And it was just a gradual process. And then I tried another home-based business and another one and another one and another one and another one and another one, and kept on failing forward until about 15 years ago. And I reached a point in my life where I was just like so fed up. I was working as a temp agent in a furniture warehouse, and I was completely I can't stand this anymore. I'm gonna do something. And I had decided that network marketing was probably the best option for me. Somebody who's not very smart. I was book smart, but I was not people smart. I was not confident. It's not a good business person. So I thought network marketing, that's going to be the vehicle. And researched, and I found a company that was up and coming, and I said, this is the one. And I said, I'm going to do it. And I did. It was just like, boom. It was just like that. It was that overnight success story after 14 years of struggle.
Oh my gosh. And this is the company that you did the $3 million with in the year.
Yeah.
Is that the company? Yeah. And 10,000 people on your team. And what sort of mindset shift would have caused all of that to happen? Did you sort of shift something in your head?
Yeah, it did. What caused it was just pain. It was unbearable pain. And I said, I cannot stand this anymore. And, probably if you know Tony Robbins, you probably heard him talk about that, the moment that you change, you can change in an instant. You can make dramatic change. And it's when you reach a threshold of pain, then you change. And that's it. I reached that threshold of pain. I said, okay, this is it. I can't stand it anymore. I'm going to do this no matter what. I don't care how scared I am. I don't care how unprepared I am. I don't care that I'm going to fail. I don't care what people think of me. I don't care if they laugh at me. I don't care if I feel I'm not ready. I'm just going to do it anyway, no matter what. I draw a line in the sand, and it was it. That was just flicking on a switch. And the weird thing is that suddenly people started to listen to me.
Wow!
Right? It was just amazing. It was amazing, and the right people appeared in my life. It was almost like by magic. Like literally, it felt like this. The law of attraction really worked for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it just switches
Now,
in, and then you're attracting and attracting because you're being a different
incredible.
person. So therefore, you're
Yeah,
attracting the different energy. Yeah.
and it just happened. It was just like boom, boom, boom. The right people were there. Now, I'm not even actually sure today whether the law of attraction is real. But what I do know, and you can explain it in more scientific ways, and that is that I think those people that you need to materialize your dreams, because all of us, no matter what field you choose, you need people to lead. You need people on a team, or you need to be on a team of great people to achieve your goals, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think those people are
Absolutely.
actually around us all the time. It's just that we're not confident enough about our purpose, our goal. We're not focused enough that we actually inspire those people around us to follow us. The moment we become clear, we become committed, we become focused, then suddenly those people, they'll actually start to listen and respond to you.
Noticing you. So this is where we're talking about your topic tonight around influence. Is this the influence topic that you're going to be sharing with us tonight?
Sure, absolutely. Let's talk about influence. It's one of the most important things to master, to succeed in the world, no matter what field you're in. Do you have any specific questions about how to become influential?
Well, my specific question is, this is like a new thing to me in terms of, because I've been in business quite a long time, and there's always like, you set your goals, you get your team, you take action, but this influence thing is something that I've been hearing just recently, and I'm just wondering, where does it fit in? I mean, does it come in from, like you talk about, you had a mindset shift and you decided, I'm in so much pain, I can't have this happen, I've got to get away from this. So where does the influence bit come in? Do you become the influence, or do you find influencers, or what's the influence? What does it mean?
Well, the first thing you have to do, you have to become the influencer. You have to become influencer to attract other people and attract higher quality people that are also naturally influencers. That'll make things happen. And the first thing it definitely starts with is around mindset of influencing. Lots of people think that influencing is bad. No, it's good. I mean, think about the most loved people in the world. Let's think about somebody like Gandhi, for example. I mean, if he wasn't able to influence masses of people, he wouldn't have created change. To create change, we need influencers. Right? Without influencers, no change appears.
Correct.
What you also have to realize that everything that you currently want to have is either owned or controlled by somebody else. Okay? Everything you want in life is currently controlled or owned by somebody else. So if you want to have a better life, you better become good at influencing other people to come with you, to give you their money, to help you achieve your goals, whatever it is. You have to become good at influencing people. Otherwise, you are going to be influenced by somebody else. And the first place to start is with a mindset around your cause or whatever it is that you're selling, whether it's a product, a service, or it's an idea. If you're creating a movement, you have to be so convinced. Like if you want to become a really good influencer, you have to be really convinced that what you're doing is absolutely crucial, right?
Very true.
And this is the thing that because what that does, that conviction creates confidence, and confidence influences to a degree that is just almost scary. And I'm sure that you actually met lots and lots of people that was quite successful, but they're very confident, but they had no clue to what they're doing. Now, when you're literally thinking, how in the world could this person become successful?
Absolutely.
Right? Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, case in mind, apologize to our American listeners, but case in mind is Donald Trump, right? Right. In my opinion, right? In my opinion, as a politician, he's completely clueless. But man, does he have conviction, and that conviction sold. People bought his conviction, right? So that's the first thing. You've got to sell yourself on what it is that you're doing, and you have to learn. It's also a learned skill to appear confident. And this is something that I have had to practice because, again, I had so much self-doubt. I practiced it and practiced it and practiced it, and still continue to practice it to this day, to walk like somebody who's confident, to speak like somebody who's confident and has conviction. And it's a work in process and, work in progress, constantly developing that skill and improving that skill.
Is this something that you would model from someone else, or do you set up your own model of copying? Like, this is who I want to be, or do you find someone to say they're confident, I want to be confident like them?
You can do both. For me, and I have done both. I have practiced walking like Sean Connery, thinking I'm James Bond. Right? Thinking what would Tony Robbins do in this situation? How would he walk? How would he carry himself? What would James Bond do in this situation? Right?
Okay.
And then use those models. These days, what I mostly do is to just get into a state of confidence and just thinking, how would I hold myself if I was really confident in this situation? How would I act? How would I feel? And then get into that kind of feeling, and then practice being in that feeling for as long as possible. And then once you do it, whatever you do consistently, it becomes a habit and it becomes a state.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry. It goes from being a state to a trait.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
I think what you've been actually giving us this a phenomenal insight about how to become an influencer is quite a blueprint, I would say. Learning within first, and then also attracting the right people in your vicinity or your surrounding to get influenced by them, to bring that influence in yourself to become a better influencer to other people as well. Correct?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, this is something I tell my clients when we're working together on their desires and their goals. Is like, if this is what you want, how would you feel once you have this, and get into that state and carry that feeling with you all day long once you get to that amazing feelings. And I do believe the law of attraction is, if you want to get away from the spiritual, the scientific, and go back to the spiritual, it is once you change your state and shift that state within you, you vibrate on a different level, and people can feel that. They can feel that energetic thing coming out from you, and then they start treating you differently. And
Correct.
Absolutely.
Yeah, before that point where I really decided, okay, I'm going to do this like seriously. Nobody saw me as a leader. I didn't see me as a leader myself. I didn't actually even see me as a leader at that point myself. That came much later. But here's the important point. I decided to act like a leader. I didn't still feel like a leader, but I acted like one. I stepped up and said, this is the way we're going to go. And, who wants to follow me? And then people actually started responding to me like a leader. And then because they responded to me, that feedback actually led to me starting to feel like a leader after a while. Can you still hear me?
I can still hear you. Yeah, fantastic.
Yes.
Okay. So have you got some tips, like a 3-pointer or 4-pointer for becoming an influencer?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a great easy tip is to hang around other influencers, because then they're some of their stardust will rub off on you. Okay.
Yes.
I call it associate your name with fame.
Yes.
And that's very, very powerful. But back to the science of influencing people is really understanding psychology at a deep level and how to make people feel good about themselves. Right. So when you meet somebody like on a one-to-one basis, and this is where I think lots of people, they miss the ball. The thing about influencing just as like, how can I become an influencer? How can I create a big following of 10,000 people on Facebook or whatever it is? And think about it on a mass scale, whereas it's most important is that you learn to do it on a one-to-one scale or one-to-one basis first, right?
Correct.
Because most of our life will be conducted in smaller groups or one-to-one with other people. Okay. You need to understand how to influence people at that level. And to do that well, you need to make them feel great about themselves and make them feel great about you. But when you make them feel great about themselves, you've already accomplished part of actually making them feel great about you. It's the weirdest thing. If you make people feel great about themselves, they will feel great about you. Right?
Correct.
It's about make me matter, and then all the barriers are down, and then they feel good about themselves, and it's like, okay, well, I'll endorse you because you have made me feel this, and everybody wants to feel loved. Everybody wants to feel like that they're important. So yeah. Okay,
absolutely.
so I've got some tips here.
Do you know, by the way, that the two most needed things in relationships that partners are complaining about that they're not hearing, the biggest needs is I love you and I'm sorry. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And this is in intimate relationships, but if you think about it, I found that holds to be true in all relationships, whether it's friendships or it's business relationships. Now, in business relationships, you wouldn't necessarily say "I love you," but I would say I appreciate you, or find ways to show appreciation. And it's funny that you say that you would say "I love you," because the greatest salesman in the world, Joe Girard, he's listed in what is the Guinness Book of Records as the greatest car salesman in the world ever.
Okay.
Breaker's crazy. I mean, he sold crazy amount of cars, and I studied a bit about him. And he sent a card, postcard to all his clients every single month, like his current clients, every single month. And he had a crazy reorder rate, like insane. And some of the months, he would simply say, "I love you, Joe." That's it.
Wow.
And people would pin the postcards on their refrigerator and like all these places. They would talk about them to their friends, like, "Look at this crazy car salesman guy. Like, he really cares." I mean, it's just showing that you care, that you find people important is so powerful. It's so powerful. Once they like you and trust you, you can influence them to do whatever you want almost.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Absolutely. That's the key, actually. Once you started to become honest, authentic, and caring, they will actually do anything for you. They will do anything for you because they feel that somebody is there. They will pick up the phone and just call you, even though you are not personally attached to them, but they just open up to you because that's how much they trust you.
Yeah. I was actually doing an interview this morning with a top income earner in the network marketing industry. And he mentioned, I can't remember who he mentioned now, but there was a guy who said that, all he did was he had a goal of creating 1 million friends. And so when you have that goal of actually just creating friends, people will want to join you on your course or whatever it is. They will want to be with you. They will want to buy from you. They'll want to be part of your mission.
So are you saying then that the business, the money side of things is like secondary to the actual taking care of people? Because a lot of people come into businesses, so much on the internet at the moment about getting a 6-figure income and first $1 million mindset and all of that kind of stuff, and it really like puts me off. But I know a lot of people buy into it. And at the end of the day, you're saying that it's more about caring for the person, then the money will come. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with making lots and lots and lots of money, because the more money you have, the more difference you can make in the world. There's no honor in being poor, in my opinion. You can't even really help yourself. So to make a difference in the world, we need to be wealthy. And I think it's honorable being wealthy if you use it for good causes. Yeah. But to get there, and again, you can have a very driven mindset, like really be focused on the money, but you got to put other people first, right?
Absolutely.
I think it was Mary Kay, who was one of those founders of one of the big network marketing companies. She had this badge on that says "I'm number 2," and she had this badge to remind herself to put other people first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's yeah.
I heard this slogan when I was growing up. This customer is always right. Customer is always right.
even when they're wrong. when I first heard that phrase, the customer's always right, especially when they're wrong. When I had my salon business, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's really cool. But you always, no matter what, yep, you're right. How can we fix it? How can we make it better for you? How can we make you feel good? And knowing that they were wrong in the first place, but you always take the hit. You always say, hey, no, I'm responsible for making you feel good, even though you made the mistake. Let's see how we can make this better. So yeah.
I do believe that is a great place to come from in 97% of the cases.
Yes.
But there are some cases where you need to fire the clients because they're just flat out wrong.
Absolutely.
And they're draining their toxic clients.
During my area of work as well, we all work in personal development, and there are certain clients do come into your field, but you want to let them go. You can't actually, even though they are paying you a lot of money, you just let them go. You don't want to work with them.
Definitely.
Because they will drain me. They will drain you.
Definitely.
So
cool.
Where we're at in terms of what have you got anything coming up at the moment for your own business, for your own future? What's happening in Patrick's world?
Oh, lots and lots of things are happening. This year has just started off with a bang. It's just been an incredible year. I have been hired so actually I'm getting my first job for 15 years. Right?
Oh my gosh.
So it's a part-time job. It's like, oh, Patrick, do you need a part-time job? Well, no, I don't need it, but I've taken it because it's a job as a part-time president for an international network marketing company, and which requires I'm going to be traveling a lot. It's a absolutely perfect scenario for me to do more of what I love, and then to still have the time to build my businesses at the side. So I'm really excited about that. Going on a tour to Dubai, Mexico, Colombia, Poland, Italy, Japan, Hong Kong, and possibly Philippines. So that's going to be exciting. Yeah, apparently. So, and I've always wanted to, for a while, actually work on the corporate side in network marketing, so I understand that side of the business as well. And then, of course, I'm launching my MLM Accelerator podcast and training site. So that's going to be at mlmaccelerator.com. There's just a holding page right now. It's going to be launched in the next few days, no later than the end of the week. It was going to be great training there, free podcast with amazing interviews. So if you are in network marketing in the MLM space, there's going to be free 30-day video training.
Whoa, he's gone.
We lost our guest.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
We will wait for him to. I think he will. So, why don't you paraphrase actually what he has said so far? Recap.
So what we've learned from Patrick is about influencing, and from the journey that he's had through his business life and his job life. He's realized, and we have come to that conclusion as well now, because we've just heard from Patrick, that mindset is really, really crucial in terms of your business and influencing people, and making sure that that you have the confidence to be the person that you want to become, so that people have confidence in you. So even if you're really shy and you're really not quite sure what you're doing, but if you have the mindset of, yes, this is how a confident person would be. This is how I would act in this situation if I was a confident person. This is how a leader would act and behave. And then hang around other people who are leaders, so you can learn from them. And obviously their vibration and their mindset and everything will rub off on you, and you can learn, and they'll learn from you too, and you raise your game. And then make people feel that they matter, make people feel really good about themselves, and they will then feel good about you. And then that way they will buy into everything that you're doing. They'll buy into your why, your products, your mission, any way that you're going to lead them. They will follow you. So make them feel good, and then they will follow you as well. and show appreciation for them. You know, send them love, send them cards, send them, you know, just don't finish the conversation in terms of, oh, you bought my stuff. Send them a little card or a little gift or something, just to let them know that you really appreciate their business as well. And I find that this is just coming from me as well, in terms of if you refer someone, if someone's given you a referral and pointed you in a direction, and you know, you make connection with someone, it's always good to go back to that person and say, hi, I've made a connection, thank you very much for that lead, thank you very much for that referral as well, because that makes that person feel good and want to give you more leads and more referrals as well. So that's what I'm recapping at the moment in terms of Patrick's tips. And if we don't manage to get him back on board, his projects are, well, the one that we would love to highlight is the MLMaccelerator.com, which is a podcast that he's going to be you know, starting soon. So keep an eye on his Facebook group. I'm sure he's going to be highlighting that. And it's Patrick M. Powers, M for Mother Powers, on Facebook. And then in there, you'll be able to find all this, you know, everything about Patrick, who's an amazing individual, really friendly and giving. And he, you know, all he does is really care about his people and his connections as well.
Yeah, so I think what happened is we just have some technical difficulties at this present moment. Patrick is still going to be joining us, and I've just sent a message to him to come back to us. We're just waiting to hear from him very shortly. So I'm just chatting with him. Let me quickly, what I'll do is, I think what we do is, let me first, or why don't we do this way, Jennifer? We can switch off our camera and start again one by one, and to bring Patrick back onto the onto our platform. Okay. So if I'm going to, if you stop and start again, then I will bring Patrick.
Yeah, don't anybody go away. If you're watching, don't go away. We're still here. We're just sorting out some technical problems. Okay, so I'm going to stop my camera.
Yes, please. Okay. Alrighty, we're just waiting for my my colleague. So as soon as she will come back, I will start the next action. I think what we're going to do is I'm going to restart our segment. It seems like there is an issue with our network. We are finding it difficult to connect with our my co-host as well as to my to our guest. So please don't go anywhere. If you are watching or you're going to be watching later on, I'm going to be reconnecting everybody together in about 2 minutes.